What's going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and today I'm here for the very last time on my KTM Duke 390. Tomorrow morning I'm loading it in a truck, driving all the way down past Dallas to Lufkin, Texas to pick up something with a V10 in it, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm okay with this going away. It doesn't get ridden much anyway. Since it is my last day with the Duke 390, I wanted to succumb to the internet pressure a little bit and make a list video. 5 things I hate about the Duke 390. Here's the first one. I'll show you right now. We're at about half of the RPM range. You can see it on the gauge. It's about 6,500 RPM, 4th gear. I'm cruising at 40. There's the shift light. Why? Why, KTM? Why is that pile of trash flashing? And then right there, it's solid, but I have another 2,000 RPM left. What on earth were you thinking? Like, that's where the bike is actually fun. You've got this huge red light flashing in your face the whole time, and you're just doing a normal speed down the road. No big deal. Oh, there goes Zach on the fun bike. Of course, when we try to launch away from a stoplight, I over-rev because there's no actual indicator of if you're going to over-rev or not because the shift light was flashing the entire time. Number 2, the brakes are terrible. This has the Bierber brakes or Bayer brakes or whatever they are. It also has ABS, and the combo is pretty terrible. The rear tire loves to be in ABS, and the front never goes into ABS, apparently, no matter how hard I brake. I think I did get it into ABS one time, and I was just, it was kind of wet, and I was trying to ride it as hard as I could. I got to lock up for just a second there. But then again, as an experienced rider, you're used to the front tire locking up, and you know to like modulate back off the brake and get back into it if the front tire starts to slide at all. So honestly, it just kind of becomes a hassle. As a starter bike, yeah, maybe it's awesome. I don't know. And maybe the brakes not being grabby or really stopping the bike are also awesome as a starter bike. So it could be a pro, could be a con. As an advanced rider, it's a con, no doubt about it. And the third thing I hate about the 2016 and earlier in particular KTM 390s is this dash. It is so terrible, and it's basically unusable when you're out on the highway because you're trying to use those 2 buttons to change things. It's kind of strange in the fact that some things are displayed in miles and some things are displayed in kilometers. Oh, we get it. It is pretty flickable though, and we are in this corner. Of course, the newer 390s, 2017 and up, have that big, beautiful TFT display that's about the size of an iPhone 10. And I think all the language is corrected. The bike was properly homologated. It does show miles for everything in the US and kilometers for, well, you know, it has switchable modes and switchable language settings, I'm sure. So if you're in Europe, you can put the thing in kilometers. And if you're in America, you can leave it in miles. Goodbye forever, KTM. Oh, look at this Acura. It smells like popcorn instead of burnt oil too. That's weird. What on earth? Haha, Zach made it past. Good job, bro. Good job. Oh, here comes Steve and his Aerial Atom. I literally posted his Atom on the old Instagram earlier. Let's go catch Steve. We'll see if the KTM can do it. Woo! What up, Steve? I know. Looks good. And a Tesla Model X. What's up with the cars popping today? Also, Steve has a brand new Model 3. He typically only drives that, and the aerial never comes out, so that's why it's cool to see out on the street. Oh, WPD and their motorcycle cops. And now we've come to the fourth thing I hate about the KTM Duke 390. It's the engine and maybe the close ratio gearbox, but that's pretty acceptable. I don't mind shifting a lot and feeling like I'm on a race bike every once in a while, or like I am racing because we're rowing through the gears. I do hate the fact that you can be out on the highway doing 85 with a big headwind and it'll be wide open. That's it. You're holding the throttle pinned all the way back and only doing 85. I know I've gotten this bike up to 114, 18 mile an hour on an empty road in the middle of the night with no wind, and it's pretty fun up there, even though, it takes a long time to get there. A very long time to get there, I should say. But when you're just trying to commute on the bike, it really doesn't have it, especially if your commute involves a highway. If it's all city driving, awesome. You will really enjoy this bike, and you can kind of dart through things because it has a lot of grunt right there where the shift light comes on. That's where the engine power comes in, around, not really right there, but 5,000 RPM. 4,000 was a little too low on that pull. 5,000-ish, it'll pull you out of some situations and get you through traffic. It works great right there. And now for the fifth thing I hate about the Duke 390. This is totally personal preference. I know it doesn't bother some people, but the kickstand takes forever to shut the bike off. I could flip the kickstand down right now and the engine would shut off like past this restaurant, which is pitiful because I always shut my bike off with the kickstand. I don't like using the stupid kill switch. Like, why does anybody shut the kill switch off and then shut the key off to their bike? Doesn't make sense to me. Like, you just need one switch. So the switch I use to kill my bike is the kickstand, and then I shut the ignition off. I just don't understand why people have to have 3 different switches shutting the bike off. You've got the kickstand safety, which is keeping the bike off. You've got the start-stop switch right here, and you also have the ignition. So, it's not that hard to pull the clutch in and use the ignition, and it's not that hard to just pull up to somewhere where you have to stop, kick the kickstand down, hop off the bike, and then shut the ignition off, whatever you want to do. But, it's just annoying to have 3 different switches on. So I never, ever, ever use the start-stop switch. Oh, there's no brakes. I'm going to preface this statement by saying I've never ridden the RC, which is the sport bike version of the 390, but I do not understand why people are in love with this as a track bike. It literally has some of the worst brakes, and I mean, good luck using the brakes to save yourself if you're coming in too hot. Maybe that was a pro to KTM because they were like, hey, I guess they'll just have to learn to lean. They're either going to lean or they're going to die. It's possible the RC 390 is actually a very different platform and has excellent brakes, but if it's literally just this with the body, no. No, no, no. And it's also possible it changed in 17. This is a 16, but it's, it's a pretty well sorted example of a 16. If you need another reason to not like this bike, we'll call it a bonus, maybe a 6th. The fan runs all the time. It's like obnoxiously on all the time. You pull up to a stoplight, instantly on. I couldn't cool myself, and I don't know why. It even has water wetter in it now. Brand new coolant and water wetter. Everything's nice and clean in the cooling system. The fan's running. But that's it. That's my sort of review / list thing about why I don't like the KTM 390, and also things like this that I absolutely love it for, which are bombing through the city in that 40 to 80 mile an hour range where it really shines, as long as you can keep the RPM up. Also, I hope we didn't lose Zach. He has like triple the horsepower back there. Yeah, here he comes. If you don't love my opinions or you don't share them, it might be because I daily that thing a lot, and it is amazing. Amazing. Ducati, you know how to build a naked bike / hypermoto / supermoto / whatever that thing is. I love it. Ah, Zach wanted to pull over for just look where he parked. Perfect. But we found my boy Max's Miata. It's perfect. The nicest of Miatas. Really Lexus. You could have just committed and we would have maybe stopped. Well, let's give this girl a proper send-off. Everybody say goodbye to her. You know, it did a little wheelie today. It shot a list, so, you know, YouTube peer pressure. And that's the last you'll see of it, other than in the back of the truck on the 8-hour drive down to Dallas/Lufkin or whatever, and the 9-hour drive back with the new thing that you will see very soon. That said, please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you guys next time. You camera me. Right now, right? Yeah. Here's one more fun quirk. It's super hard to find neutral if you're rolling in any way. I mean, like 5 miles an hour, it will not go into neutral unless you just barely nudge it in with your toe. So when you're pulling up to a stoplight and you want to chill out, you have to stop and then put it in neutral, and then you can get your hand off the clutch.